What a beautiful day for a taste of Topsham. Oh yes, off on the train now to Topsham. Never been there before. And guess what? Andy hasn't either. So we're both the blind leading the blind. Lovely. Anyway, let's go. Here we go. Lots of people on the station. So will I get a seat? Got to try and go with Randy as well. We don't know yet. We will find out. Anyway, all good. And like I say, see you in Topsham. Yay! And here we are in Topsham. Lovely. That's the old signal box. Have a pan round.
Great to be in Topsham, an interesting place with history spans back from the 1st century AD as a port for Roman Exeter to its modern day role as a charming town on the Estuary, with quite a lot of history and even connections to Hollywood. Yes, Hollywood, which we will find out on our walk.
Before we leave the station, here we go, old picture.
A brief history on the station, which was designed by Sir William Tite and opened on the 1st of May 1861. The station was initially owned by the London and South Western Railway. In 1923 became a part of the Southern Railway, and by 1948 became British Railway. It was operated by Wessex Trains, but the franchise has now been transferred to the Great Western Railway.
As we come out of the station, we see the Catholic Church. Not quite as decorative as the Catholic Church in Timoth, but the Catholic Church nonetheless.
Oh, still, it's quite a novel looking church as well, isn't it?
Yes. Well, this is a lot busier than I thought it would be. Just took ages here to wait for the traffic to go by. We could cross the road. Let's walk down there from the station. Folliot Road over there. Topsham Wines. And this was Station Road. Let's see what's in the main street.
This is the major route into the town now, so what we're on. So now we're on to the major route into the town.
Nice.
Already sensing the beautiful architecture already around us, which
Yes.
is sort of a mixture of, wow, there's going to be so much difference. Georgian and Dutch, Victorian. And this is our first building on the left hand side. This originally used to be the cinema.
The cinema?
Many years ago it used to be a cinema.
Now it's the Topsham Community Association.
It's now the Topsham Community Centre, yeah. So yeah, this is called Matthews Hall, and it was originally a Tivoli cinema.
This is the old fire station.
Yeah.
Now it's a brewery.
Now it's a brewery, and it's even got the keep clears on it.
There are today's beers.
Oh yes.
Opening hours. The old fire station. Yeah, it's lovely architecture.
Beautiful.
And there's their pet shop.
Yeah, woof woof. Pawsome. There's a doggy in the window, he's got a coat on.
Certainly a variety of architecture styles.
Oh, very much so. And it's going to get better as we go down. The Salutation has been an inn since at least 1720. You can clearly see the carriage porch. It lays claim to one of the largest single leaf doors in the country. Above it is one of Topsham's finest rooms and its unique Venetian window where you can see graffiti etched in the glass from 1774.
Heat pump in the van is so when it's in winter, it doesn't use.
There's a door we were talking about. Single leaf door. Lovely. Very nice.
And it's one of Exeter's premium places to come. St Nicholas's Church, which is a Methodist church and completed in 1867. The church was funded by the prominent figure at the time of the village whose name was John Holman, and he was from a wealthy shipbuilding family. The south side of the church has a small stained glass window in memory of those lost at sea in the ship John Holman.
Old telephone box, but not a telephone box these days, of course.
No.
Representing Topsham Museum.
It's advertising the museum.
Lovely. Little map there if you want to pause and look at that at all.
Yeah.
There we go. Pause and have a look now. Right, that's that. And we're right outside the parish church of St Margaret. Beautiful. It's just across the road from the other one. Look
And
at
an
that.
old church. Well, this part isn't old, but this is St Margaret's Church. It's a long, rich history dating back to the 10th century, when a church dedicated to St James was built on this site. The current church, dedicated to St Margaret of Antioch, was largely rebuilt in the 1870s, though some medieval elements, including the tower, remain, and that will be at the reverse of this building.
Little crypt. First thing we see as we come around the back of the church. Here at the back of St Margaret's, the older part.
This is the old tower which I'm talking about earlier on.
Beautiful. Lovely tree there. And it's what's behind me is the Thrill. Just pan round in real time. Stay on the wide lens.
Yeah.
Look at that, what a beautiful view.
What a beautiful view. There's the M5 over there.
Yep, in the distance. Yep, smash in.
And looking into the woods where we went.
That boat over there.
Yeah, that's been there a few years.
Lovely. Steps. Coming back out onto the main street now, didn't go down those stairs. And little cheese shop, country cheeses.
That's novel.
With almost looks like it says Mom above the door, but it doesn't. It's a bull's head. There we go. And a little bit further along, got a first example of a Dutch building style.
Buildings, yeah.
So it's this vestry room up there in the brick,
Room, yeah.
next to the Cioccolato sign.
So possibly built in about the 1700s, I would have thought.
Smashing. And then just down here is the Globe.
Yes, this is the Globe, and this is one of the oldest, well, it was coaching inn, but it's been at the heart of Topsham now for over 300 years. It's been a place really for the meeting of wealthy merchantmen. And it's now part of Exeter's famous pub crawl, believe it or not.
16th century coaching inn, and they're even advertising my channel.
Your channel's on.
How nice of them. Lovely. What a beautiful building.
And it's well worth going in there for a meal, I've been told as well.
Here's our next port of call, White Street. Here we are.
We are now looking at White Street, which is a very crooked street. Unbelievably, in the 19th and early 20th century, it was Tottenham's red light district.
Oh!
And even as late as the 50s, young girls were not allowed to walk down the street unaccompanied in the evenings. The street housed a pub called the Malt Scoop, which finally closed its doors in 1982 after complaints of rowdy motorbike gangs. Now, would you ever associate a place like this with rowdy motorbike gangs?
I certainly wouldn't.
And I certainly wouldn't.
So idyllic, isn't it? So
They managed
idyllic.
to get them stopped and they shut the pub down at the same time.
And he thinks that that white building up ahead, not walking all the way up there,
No.
the white one behind that blue van, was actually the pub in question. Back down now.
Dutch barge there, isn't it?
Yeah. And a sign for the Stuart Line cruises. Very much a fixture of this area. And the Lighter Inn over there, another bar.
Yeah, that's got a lot of history to that as well, the Lighter Inn has.
Smash in. Michelin star, 2021.
21.
Gallery, fresh fish food.
Lovely. And this is Raleigh Hall. I would no doubt in honour named after Sir Walter.
And there's the front of the pub, the Lighter Inn.
We'll be coming back up to this building because we're going to go down where Bill is now. We're going down to the left where the lady's walking with the dog. And there's a surprise on that corner which we're going to be talking about.
Now, it looks lovely and happy here, but it wasn't happy for certain people, like prisoners in the Napoleonic Wars. Back in the day, the ships would come in over there and the prisoners would be taken to the jail.
The old jail of Topsham has been here since the 17th century. It's now a furniture shop, but originally it started life as a revenue and customs house. But when the shipping trade declined, it was put into service as a prison, where convicted criminals were held before transportation to the colonies in Virginia and later to Botany Bay. And as Bill's mentioned, it would take on Napoleonic prisoners, French prisoners from that war.
So there we go, there's their version of Napoleonic prison. Lovely. Lovely river views as we walk along here, heading up towards the museum. Not sure if it's open or not, possibly closed for repairs, but very pretty. Sheldon-esque vibes from Ringmore spring to mind. Yes, very nice indeed.
Very pleasant, isn't it?
Here we go, some lovely architecture again. This is a shell house. I won't say shell cottage, I like to call things cottages. And as you can see, there's a big shell
in the entranceway. Lovely. Absolutely well thought out there.
Can't tell what I'm filming at the moment, unfortunately, because I can't see a thing on the phone. Too bright.
You got it.
Another telephone box, but this one has got a telephone in it. Whether it works or not, I don't know.
No, there's a library in there as well.
Yes.
So there's books.
And a phone. Lovely. And there's just lovely views everywhere. I'm looking up this street at the moment. Just pull out.
Shapter Street.
Yep. And I turn around the other way. And this is the other end. Looking down at the water.
So you could literally come down that street on a go-kart, plan your angle and go straight down that into the sea.
Lovely. That building up ahead is a museum, which I don't think is going to be open today.
No, it's definitely not open. Yeah, so this is where we've got our Hollywood connection. As Bill said, it's the museum. It's the Vivian Leigh collection which is in there. Now, Vivian Leigh played Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. And she was married to a Devon solicitor, and her sister Dorothy lived in the Strand, number 25, and she visited during the 40s and 50s. And when Vivian passed away, I think she had some of her clothing and stuff, and it went into the museum. But it's also another connection to our friend Captain Peacock, who we knew from Star Cross, and his boat used to be in there, one of his swan boats. And of course, plus there is other connections to Hollywood inside the museum as well. And there's a bit about HMS Terror, which was recently shown on the television.
Here we go, this is the Dutch houses. So bright today, I can barely see what I'm filming through the phone. I'm having to guess that I'm in the right place.
Yeah, no, you're in the right spot, Bill.
Yeah, so I can't see a thing through the camera.
All these would have been built again around the 17th century for wealthy merchantmen.
Yeah, it's just worked out. It's so warm today, it's in the 20s, that what's happening is my phone is closing down my screen as I'm trying to film. It's making it very, very dark, not bright at all, in order to save itself from getting too hot. That's why. This is the Goat Walk. GOAT stands for Greatest of All Time, G-O-A-T. And this is the greatest of all time walks in the whole of Topsham. There we are, along there.
I can't see a goat.
And this is kind of like a beach.
It is. I think you go around the corner and I think there's a bit more of a beach around there. And there we're going right up to the O'Needon Line Island, which I call it.
I won't be able to zoom in on that because I can't see anything on the phone. But that's where we went across on the ferry to Exmouth, past where they shot the O'Needon Line. As we walk back, this is someone's garden. Beautiful. Sit there and enjoy that view. Lovely. That belongs to the old Strand house.
It does. It used to have railings by the looks of it as well, but the railings have well gone now. I wonder if these were taken away during the war for the war effort.
And that's the house there with the wisteria that we've just filmed the garden of across the road.
Yeah, the old Strand house. Isn't that beautiful?
Just noticing that the houses along here have got flood barriers. Wouldn't have noticed apart from that one, which has got theirs installed. But that's what it looks like installed. And that's what they just look like when it's just the side bits with nothing in front. Back down here again by the jail. Can have a little look around here. There's now, we walk back past 29 there. Nice winch.
Yeah, lovely.
And a buoy from the sea.
A buoy, as the Americans would say.
Yeah.
It's a buoy.
A buoy. And that's what Batman was stood on in the 1966 Batman film, where he had to get rid of the bomb.
He did.
Yeah.
So,
and down on the quay,
yeah.
you've got the Quay Antique Centre
Antique Centre, yeah. And this was built as a flower storage in 1947. And like a lot of post-war buildings, it was reinforced to be bomb-proof. But happily, it was never been tested. It was never really used as a flower store. And in the 1950s, it was acquired by Tuborg Lager, of all people, as a storage unit. Boats brought everything up the estuary and docked alongside the building. And there was a one-time a railway line from the quay to Topsham station and onto the main street was two-way with the tracks running up the main street. This changed in the 1970s when the railway side lane became a road. And then this thing over here, which you're looking at, this is the King's Beam. And it was cast in iron in 1838. The beams were used by customs officers for suspending weighing scales when assessing the duty of imported goods.
Right, that brings us pretty much to the end of our planned wander around Topsham. Going to start heading back up to the station now, but Andy just wants to say one final thing.
Yeah, I'd just like to say how sort of a maritime significance this little town had and what ships were built here. And of course, when we were at the museum, I mentioned about HMS Terror. Well, HMS Terror was actually built here, along with HMS Siam, and they were what you call ships of the line. But that just shows you the significance of a little town like this, and you know what influence it had on maritime history. But that will be the end of it today for me, and hopefully we'll be back here to talk about some more.
Yeah. Well, we're not signing off yet because we don't know what we're going to see on the way back, but we sign off when we get to the station. Lovely. This is where the Topsham ferry runs from. Topsham to Turf. There we are. Lovely. Smashing. And just over here on the right are those steps where that cat's right at the top there. And that's those steps that we were in the churchyard. I said, oh look, steps, but we didn't take them. So that's where we are, for you keeping track. Bert and Kimber,
Yeah.
enjoying a little holiday
Yeah.
upriver in Topsham.
How nice, a pair of black swans. I wonder if it's their past babies.
And this is Church House, advertised in 1385.
And a tiny little door as well. I don't think I'd get through that.
Ah.
Isn't that fabulous?
It's small, yes, very small door.
I wouldn't get in there.
Lovely. And just outside that house, cobbled floor with a boat. Lovely. How nice. Proper fishmongers.
There's
We've got a lobster.
there. How much is that doggy in the window?
Woof, woof.
The one with the waggly tail.
Woof, woof.
How much is that doggy in the window?
Woof, woof.
I do hope that dog is for sale.
And here we are, Topsham Station, smashing. And it's been a really nice walk around, to be fair. It's been a really nice day, really nice weather.
It has. Lovely weather.
Unfortunately, the phone has been overheating, as you're aware of. At the moment, I can see what I'm filming on the screen, but for a lot of that, I'm just having to guess. But there we go, it's just the time of year, and can't complain about it. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hope to see you again tomorrow. and please hit that subscribe. So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Cheers then. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.